9th of May 2025. I was asleep. I had spent the previous night grinding the new Star Wars Fortnite season. I was awake until 5 o'clock in the morning. I then went to bed around 5 o'clock. Little did I know something insane would occur while I was asleep. I woke at 3:30 in the afternoon. An aura of confusion blanketed itself over me. I felt like how you do after having hours on hours of sleep. I had a shower, grabbed some snacks, and sat down ready to watch The Great Discovery. After finishing, I realized my dinner was nearly done. After grabbing my dinner, I decided to put a video on while eating. I was watching an episode compilation on the official channel. After, I wanted to watch more, and then I saw one of the biggest surprises of the last few months. Quick editor's note. Yes, I am aware that it was announced the thing at hand was set for a release THR next day. But I hardly used my phone the previous day. I had asked for V-Bucks for Mace Windu, that's literally it. Anyways, back to the video. I then went onto the videos tab and saw it. Down the Mine 1983 pilot. No way. I'm happy to show you the 1983 Down the Mine pilot.
One day, Thomas was at the junction when Gordon shuffled in with some trucks. Phew, remarked Thomas. What a funny smell. Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Annie. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas. No one noticed it till you did, grunted Gordon. It must be yours. Annie, Clarabelle, do you know what I think it is? It's ditch water. Before Gordon could answer, Thomas puffed away. Annie and Clarabelle could hardly believe their ears. That was funny, he chuckled. He felt very pleased with himself. Annie and Clarabelle were deeply shocked. They had great respect for Gordon, the big engine. Thomas left the coaches at the station and went off to a mine for some trucks. Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground. Though strong enough to hold up trucks, their roofs could not bear the weight of engines. Silly old board, he thought. He had often tried to pass it and he had never succeeded. But this morning he had made a plan. He had to push the empty trucks into one siding and pull out full ones from another. Come on, waved the fireman. The driver leaned out of the cab to see where they were going. Now, said Thomas to himself. Hurrah, laughed Thomas, and he followed the trucks into the siding. Stupid old board, said Thomas. There's no danger, there's no danger. Look out, shouted his driver. Come back. Fire and smoke, said Thomas. I'm sunk. And he was. Thomas could just see out of the hole, but he couldn't move. Oh dear, he said, I am a silly engine. And a very naughty one, too. I saw you, said the fat controller. Please get me out, I won't be naughty again. I'm not sure, replied the fat controller. We can't lift you out with the crane, the ground's not firm enough. Let me see. I wonder if Gordon could pull you out. Yes, sir, said Thomas nervously, but he didn't really want to meet Gordon just yet. Down a mine, is he? Ho, 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 laughed Gordon. What a jokey chortle, puffing to the rescue. Poof, poof, little Thomas, we'll have you out in a couple of puffs. Strong cables were fastened between the two engines. Are you ready? Heave, called the fat controller. It was a lot harder than they all thought. But at last he was free. I'm sorry I was cheeky, said Thomas. That's all right, Thomas, you made me laugh. I'm in disgrace, Gordon went on pathetically. I feel very low. I'm in disgrace too, said Thomas. Why, so you are, Thomas. We're both in disgrace. Shall we form an alliance? And Ali, what was it? Asked Thomas. An alliance, Thomas. United we stand, together we fall, said Gordon grandly. Right you are, said Thomas. Good, that's settled, mumbled Gordon. And buffer to buffer, the allies puffed home.
Without further ado, here's my unbiased review. I really enjoyed it. I actually prefer it to the actual episode itself. I love the restoration, it looks basically brand new. The music sounded strange as I am so used to the original score, but it was also great. I did notice several details, but some that I noticed are bound to be made into a video by a talented YouTuber, so yeah, I'd rate it 8 out of 10. This was such an important event that it was even featured on the news. Series producer Ian McHugh appeared on ITV News and discussed the pilot.
But Audrey, these reels painstakingly restored after they were stumbled on by series producer Ian McHugh and his team.
40-year-old film, originally shot in 1983, wasn't in the best condition when we found it, so we had to do a lot of delicate work in cleaning the footage, scanning it in 4K, stabilising it, and then repiecing the film together.
Since first becoming a TV series in 1984, Thomas and his friends have had several reincarnations, from the real-life models to cartoons to even a blockbuster film. And at Europe's only Thomas Land in Staffordshire today, viewers of all its different...
McHugh and Wilbert Audrey's grandson appeared on BBC News to talk about the pilot. Here's the clip.
To remember where the story started from, and it really started from that love of trains. And I think the nice thing in today, people still love trains, children still love trains. I go to my local train station and kids get excited, even though it's a modern electric train coming in, I think people's love of trains, and I think whatever we do with the show, because it evolves over the years, we always remember those sort of timeless stories and the good themes and messages behind them, friendship and teamwork, and that's why we're celebrating 80 years of Thomas. It's still going strong to this day.
And there have been some remarkable voices attributed to Thomas the Tank Engine. Someone's just messaged in saying, I was a fan of the Thomas the Tank Engine books, grew up listening to Willie Rushton.
Yes.
That's a plus, from reading the books. And he's got the full vinyl LPs now as well, with all of those.
Very collectible. I mean, Willie Rushton, Johnny Morris did a lot of reads long before the TV series. And then obviously with the TV series, Ringo Starr. You don't get much bigger than Ringo.
Well, do you want to explain, because I don't know, how did that first come about? Did someone just have the idea of going, why not Ringo Starr? Is there a story attached?
Well, the story, as I understand it, is Britt Allcroft, who was the lady who got the rights to make the TV series from the late 70s, decided she wanted a narrator rather than the engines having their individual voices, but couldn't decide who that narrator should be. And apparently was in the family home one night, walking past the living room where Parkinson was being broadcast and Ringo was being interviewed, heard the voice, didn't realise who it was who was actually speaking, went in, saw of course it was Ringo, and just that was it. Said that's who I want as the voice of the series.
And clearly, I mean, he wanted to do it because he ended up doing it. So he obviously, maybe he read the stories himself to his own children or whatever. There was clearly an affection there.
All I know is he said that he didn't have the stories read to him as a child, which my grandfather said he had, therefore a neglected childhood.
Okay.
Which sounds very much him. He then certainly went back and read the stories and was very complimentary about them. And clearly was interested enough that he was prepared to be involved, which is a lovely thing, because that's become in its own way very much as iconic as the stories, Ringo's narration.
So true, isn't it? Because his voice on that series, I mean, it makes it very different, doesn't it? In the
And that was the video. Let me go back to my hobbit hole for another few months.